I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes.
So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke because I have standards and I have principles.
Come on. Don't be a bitch. My other debate flaked out on me today. I was supposed to... What? Actually, sorry, she did not flake out on me. I flaked out on her because I said I can't do it later.
Yeah. I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
Great job electing this vegetable little trust fund progressive. Every once in a while, he even remembers what state he is standing in. Someday, he could learn to dress himself or tie his own shoes with intense enough instruction. This Democrat idea doesn't work for reasons that anyone who's ever served in the military can easily lay out. There aren't enough National Guard personnel in any local high-density zone to drive every tractor trailer, stock every shelf, load and unload every truck, etc. Guard and reserve units are generally limited to training personnel to perform certain high-demand specialties. Having SPC Jones, the Black Hawk helicopter mechanic, drive trucks full-time for the next several years just so progressive youth won't have to do it essentially deletes a hard-to-find technical tradesman from the mix. It would be cheaper, easier, and much less negative impact to make some progressive egghead trade the gender studies degree program for a tractor trailer. Biden is going to pay some high-demand technical trade specialist who has been recruited and trained at great cost BAH and active duty pay to load up tractor trailers for years just because the local 20-nothings can't be bothered to do any real work? Nope! Doesn't even begin to make sense at all. The logistics problem he thinks he is solving is actually more complex than he imagines. It's not just too few truck drivers or dock workers. It's not just current needs for certain common trades. What does President Huggies do? Within the National Guard, troops are rotated out of active deployment after 12 to 18 months. Are all of the entitled hipster kids who couldn't be bothered to work before all of a sudden going to start exportly doing necessary work in the Guard soldiers' absence? President Huggies needs to focus on simpler things, like learning to use the potty all by himself, or maybe even just learning how to get dressed in the morning. Folks, I present to you, above it all, episode 1377. We are here, folks, and I got some more where this came from, so let's read. This little royal thinks Romeo and Juliet tells people to commit suicide? These trust-funded royalty leftists are clearly even more intellectually challenged than I thought. Basic reading comprehension skills are all anyone requires to know that Shakespeare never conveyed that context with Romeo and Juliet. Duh! The ivory tower youth of progressives hordes are getting dimmer every year. So this comment is on a video where I sarcastically made an analogy about Romeo and Juliet. And I guess they don't understand what analogies are, so they wrote me another essay. Just comparing actual literature to typical low-rent alphabet collective porno rags no school should have allowed is right at the potato level of intellect. The typical blue-collar straight kid school district would replace all of their required reading materials with Penthouse or Hustler magazine if they adopted the same educational standards progressives cling to. This is from YouTube channel DB Cooper. But wait, there's more. Alright, this one's good. This one's good. Here we go. Alright, folks. This guy left me like 15 comments, so I'm just scrolling through them until I get bored. Let's see. Your progressive political party, fueled by corporate-supported riots in the streets for 4 straight years, you did countless billions of dollars worth of damage. You killed plenty of people. Me personally, I killed plenty of people. You unlawfully detained and attacked millions of innocent motorists while trying to burn occupied buildings with no chance of ever getting arrested by the useless cops who just spectated your entitled royalty class street terrorism. All right? In Chaz, Democrats got away. I love it. Like, first of all, in Chaz, Democrats. Like, the idea that Democrats had anything to do with Chaz, I think is... In Chaz, Democrats got away with assigning heavily armed, trust-funded militia wannabes who would never survive basic military training as the new replacement police who operated without any professional standards or oversight. You shot workers. I personally shot workers. You lynch mobbed countless thousands of workers for the crime of driving to work on public roads they built and paid for. Yo, folks, this is actually, you'll now notice that this guy's exposing my side career. This is what I've been doing all along. You wonder why I only do an hour show every day? It's because I'm too busy killing plenty of people and unlawfully detaining millions of motorists. Let's keep going. You severely burned people with Molotovs and high-end double-spaced professional-grade fireworks. You used deadly, illegal, homemade high-explosive devices as fun party favors to lob into crowds of working-class counter-protesters with no fear of being investigated or arrested. Folks, the reason why I'm actually doing this, there's actually a reason why I'm doing this, like, funny, dramatic reading. It's because imagine you're the kind of person who actually believes this. Like, you actually believe that the Democratic Party set people on fire and worked with the police to avoid any investigation or arrest. Imagine if you actually believe, if this is real in your mind is constructing a world where Chaz was run by Democrats and they murdered or tried to murder millions of innocent people. And all of them are trust fund babies. Yeah, sure. People in the 2020 uprising were mostly poor. It was like 90-something% of people that participated in protests were below the poverty line. That's fine. But imagine if you actually believe they're all paid off by George Soros. Right? They're all like Democrats. Right? They're all trust fund ivory tower rich kids just LARPing on television. You actually believe that. Of course, like, think about that. Like, January 6th makes a lot more sense. When you think about, these are the people who support storming the Capitol on January 6th. They think all of this. To them, this is real. This is real history. They say this as if it's fact. Like, I looked at this and I thought it was copy pasta. I'm going to be honest, I haven't read the comments until now. I just saw the wall of text and assumed it would be funny, right? But imagine you actually believe this. Like, this is real. Like this coffee cup is as real as Chaz being run by Democrats who murdered 1 million motorists. Your trust-funded Chaz police were even celebrated as national heroes because they shot up a car with a black working-class teen driver who refused to give them his driver's license at an unlawful checkpoint. You progressive silver spoons committed unspeakable war crimes against my class. My class, think about that. Without any legal consequence for 4 years. Chaz lasted 4 years. While not even having to worry about any future investigation by any law enforcement organization. Now again, someone in Florida, an anarchist activist by the name of Baker, I believe, was sent to prison for 6 years for saying we need to defend ourselves from fascists. So, and that's a longer prison sentence than almost any January 6th insurrectionist. So again, this is clearly whatever this guy's saying. Also, I would love to know what my class means. I'm assuming he's implying that he's poor and Democrats are all rich. But again, they actually believe this. Like, to them, this is as real as this coffee cup. This coffee cup exists, right? If I put it down and leave the room, I will be able to recount the existence of that coffee cup, right? And so in their mind, right, like let's say I'm talking to someone else about the coffee cup I have. It's an elephant shape. Look at it. It's cool, right? In their mind, that's as reasonable as what they're doing. They're just recounting historical events. I need you to understand, we are dealing with crazy the fuck-face motherfuckers. We are dealing with people that live in a different world. They are not living on planet Earth. They are in a new world. And it needs to be understood. You cannot understand why things like January 6th happen, and you cannot understand why they're so dangerous if you do not understand the ability of dumb motherfuckers to just accept propaganda like this. But I'm going to keep going because it's funny. Now, your progressive royalty class wants to complain because some blue-collar Joe Nobody verbalized a desire to do exactly what your own entitled comrades physically did to this economic class for 4 straight years. Pick a bed to sleep in, your royal highness. Again, they actually think I'm like some ivory tower trust fund baby, right? Like, I've not had health insurance basically my whole life. Right? I've been evicted several times, right? I have almost no money in my bank account. But in their mind, you know, I went to an Ivy League college, right? Like, I'm like, you know, the daughter-in-laws, you know, of the Clinton Foundation, right? In their mind, they actually believe this. I mean, look at my bedroom. You can see I don't got much going on, right? But in this guy's mind, I'm like a literal, like, you know, ruler. I'm an aristocrat on my YouTube show that gets like 30 viewers. They actually think this. I need you to understand, right? When you're dealing with a pathology, with a psychology like this, January 6th makes a lot more sense. Political violence is either fun and totally justified all of the time for everyone everywhere, or it's a criminal all the time for everyone. Now, they're commenting on the video with the Charlie Kirk person who said that they want to kill Democrats. That's the video they're commenting on. So this is all of their evidence to prove that it's okay to go outside and start shooting Democrats. Because Chaz was orchestrated by Democrats, I guess, apparently. That means it's okay to go shoot Democratic voters and politicians. That's what this guy thinks. You don't get to pretend as if your 4 years of totally consequence-free nationwide street terrorism never happened, just so you can feign being shocked by someone else's rage. This monster is of your making. Frankenstein deserves no scorn for coming home to roost. Actually, it's the Frankenstein's monster. But again, they actually think this. That Democrats were running through the streets for 4 straight years, murdering millions of motorists. They actually think that, but wait, there's more. Rich, royalty-born Bolsheviks never make any sense. A bunch of working-class people protesting without any violence or property destruction is always terrorism. A bunch of entitled progressive silver spoons burning occupied buildings in the hopes of murdering members of the enemy economic classes. Again, if they're burning buildings, what buildings are they burning? If they're burning, like, I don't know, chain, like fast food restaurant, who owns a chain fast food restaurant? The billionaire class. Well, how can the Democrats be trust fund babies, royalty, and burning buildings of their own class? It doesn't make any sense. But again, you'll see that these people's conspiracy theories, they literally don't matter. Like, the logical consistency of them is irrelevant. All they need to do is convince themselves it's okay to kill Democrats in the street. Everything else doesn't matter. This is how terrorists are born. This is how mass shooters get made. I need you to understand. I would not be shocked if this guy who's leaving me 39 trillion comments on my YouTube show becomes a mass shooter one day. I would not be shocked at all. Because again, they're basically giving their manifesto. This is their manifesto. They genuinely think Chaz was run by Democrats and they killed millions of motorists and set the entire world on fire for 4 years straight. That's their manifesto. If you actually believed that that was happening, of course January 6th makes sense. Of course killing Democrats makes sense. Right? If you construct a reality in your brain like this, everything else falls into place. That's why that's why I do this, because one, it's fun to make fun of stupid people, but two, you have to understand how the pathology of a dumb motherfucker functions like this. But let's keep going. Fascist is just a born wealthy Democrat slur against the worker. The Royals will always feel threatened by outspoken blue-collar tradesmen who dare to practice the same rights that members of the Democratic Party are guaranteed by the Constitution. I can't help but notice that the Democratic Party and all of its ivory tower membership sees mask mandates as exclusion to the enemy classes. Mask mandates don't apply to gated communities, 5-star resorts, high-end stores. They should. They should. But again, this is their world. They genuinely think that I'm like an ivory. I'm looking down on like the fucking Corrin's Tower from Dragon Ball. Like, oh, look at that. Look, that's the rest of the world. Right? And then I jump down and use the fucking flying Nimbus cloud to like just zoom around the world and see how everyone's doing. That they genuinely think that. Masks are seen by all Democrats as proof of submission to their absolute power and authority. Public health is no longer the focus of mask mandates. Of course, when workers peacefully refuse to be submissive to the ivory tower overseers, it's always an insurrection or a shocking act of domestic terrorism. So January 6th was because of masks in this guy's world. They didn't storm the Capitol to install a dictator and overthrow U.S. democracy. Nope. It was because the Democrats tried to use masks to make people submit. Again, if you actually thought that this was true, the rest of it makes perfect sense. Every single thing that happens in their entire lives falls into their narrative that Democrats are Ivy League tower, like just random. Now again, it doesn't matter that the Democratic Party has more poor people in it than the Republican Party, more middle class people than the Republican Party. That doesn't matter. The facts do not matter. There is nothing you can say to someone this far deep in conspiracy theories that will break them out of this. All you need to do is protect yourself and make sure that they don't come after you. Because holy shit, this guy is probably going to kill someone. Because if you believed all of this was true, wouldn't you go out there and kill people? If you believed that neo-Nazis were running through the streets, murdering millions of innocent people and burning down homes and apartment complexes, right? And killing everyone in sight, if you believe that if you go outside, there's like a 40% chance of a neo-Nazi like throwing a Molotov in your face and killing you. If you believe that, you would act accordingly. And so we cannot be surprised that when these conspiracy theories that are propagated by like Trump and the higher on the totem pole Republicans, when those conspiracy theories are propagated and they just say BLM Antifa terrorists burning down the entire city of Minneapolis or some shit, when they say that, people like this believe it. They think it's true. Now, they've never seen it with their own eyes, but they see very highly edited clips online and presume that that's happening all over the world every day. So again, if you think that the world that you live in is where like ivory tower Democrats are running through the streets killing people of the working class, and because working class people are Republicans or something, if you actually think that, I mean, again, this is how like wars are made. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's fucking crazy. And again, there's more. This guy left a lot more comments on my videos, and I hope that they leave a comment on this one. I would love to have a conversation with them on the show, but like, fuck me. Fuck me. And then you have some people like Jimmy Dore and other ostensibly left-wing political podcasters that are like, yeah, let's work with these guys. This guy's my comrade. Shit's fucked. Shit is fucked, folks. Gotta, get my protest footage files onto my computer real quick because I forgot to do that yesterday. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a good day. If you watched the stream yesterday, the Castlevania stream, then that's cool. If you didn't, then, I mean, that's also pretty cool, I guess. I am blocked by Glenn Greenwald. Folks, alright, I'm going to be honest with y'all. If you see any cringe from people like Ben Burgess or Glenn Greenwald, folks like that have blocked me, please screenshot it, send me the link to their tweet, and send me a screenshot on Twitter, Discord, whatever. Because I would love to continue covering them, except I legit forget that they exist sometimes. But I still do genuinely believe that it's important to talk about how stupid they are. Especially someone like Ben Burgess, because I think Glenn Greenwald is like cementing his... I think he's already cemented his position as a right-winger. I think everyone who follows anything about him knows that. Ben Burgess is still floating in the waters that Glenn used to be in, though. Like, I remember, folks, when Glenn Greenwald blocked me after saying he would come on my show and have a conversation about transgender people. He blocked me. This was in November of last year, so about a year ago now. But, like, when I made the videos in October and November of last year of 2020, I would get flocked. And maybe this is like the proto force the vote primordial soup, you know? Maybe it was actually just the same people that still defend Glenn Greenwald that pretend to be left-wingers that are forced the voters, right? But I remember in October and November, I was swarmed by so-called leftists. Glenn Greenwald is an amazing left-wing activist. You could never. He's right about everything. How dare you say this about him? And now, almost everyone is in agreement that Glenn Greenwald is a piece of fucking garbage. I remember back then, and no offense to the Majority Report, but I remember back when I noticed that Glenn Greenwald was flying off the deep end, the Majority Report was still defending him, or like avoiding the subject. Which I understand, you know, they know him personally, and that's the problem. When you know someone personally, it's harder to criticize them. For me personally, if I know someone and I think they say something stupid, I'll criticize them more. That's just my operating belief. Being a YouTube propagandist, which I'm a YouTube propagandist. That's my operating belief, is that if you know someone, you are in a position to criticize them, to move them into a better... Like, you know what if my best friend says something stupid and we have a conversation and we talk on the phone for a couple hours and I convince them, yeah, you know, here's why I think what you said is stupid, you know, and then like we'll talk a little bit about how, you know, dinner last night and the big game, or, you know, it's going to be more likely to shift them, right? But a lot of people that are in the YouTube propaganda sphere, which we're all, like, anyone that does a show on YouTube is a propagandist, right? Like, that's just right? But a lot of people are afraid to criticize their allies, at least publicly. You know, and so, like, I noticed that apprehension, and Ben Burgess now has that apprehension with Glenn Greenwald. Still, everyone knows that Glenn Greenwald is a toxic piece of garbage, but Ben Burgess is still doing, like, super nice podcasts with him. You know, like, that's the kind of shit that it's like, you got to think about that. Like, what exactly and why? Yeah, look at Kyle Kalinske with Jimmy Dore. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's not my position. I don't care enough about any of this shit. Like, right now, my basic needs are met. I have enough money from my YouTube show that I can have electricity, I can have food, and a place to live. I don't need anything else. I'm not going to try to sell out for money. And of course, if I were to try to sell out for money, that would be the perfect way to start it off. That's right, folks. I'm authentic. Look at me. I'd never sell out for money. Not a chance, bucko. God damn it. My video for this protest, I accidentally filmed it in the... Look at this. You're going to love this. This is great. Look at this. This is how I filmed it on accident. That's not surprising, Scorp. I don't know, maybe. D_. Catherine Industries, that's true. Check the scrolling text. Speaking of my Patreon, by the way, I mean, folks, let's be honest about this. I am not getting enough money on Patreon. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway. So, I may have made a mistake in the previous video. I think the previous protest recap, I said it was 194. It was actually 193. This is 194. Day 194, protesting in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. I accidentally recorded the video and did this, you know, the classic where, like, you start recording and then you do this without realizing that it's recording in this mode. So I apologize for that. That one's, you know, that's my bad right there. That is my fucking bad. But wait, we did a long demonstration throughout downtown Elizabeth City, and so the second half was recorded in a justifying way. So I'm gonna just show the second half of our protest. We went all through downtown. The kiddos that protest with us dressed up for Halloween, and they wanted to show off their costumes to the entirety of downtown Elizabeth City. So we obliged them as well. Of course, I'm always a lover of longer demonstrations. I like walking longer. I need to get some exercise. But again, folks, it's getting colder again. Like, when these protests started in April, it was chilly. And then we went through the entirety of summer. Entire summer months. And now here we are, it's November, and it's getting chilly again. And so, like, to me, it's like, you know, we've been protesting for more than half of a year. That's a long time. Right? It's tiring. It's exhausting for a lot of the people involved, and yet, you know, a lot of these people are still doing it almost every single day as much as they can. And that's the thing about it that really is, you know, impressive to me, is the resilience. You know, you don't see as many people as you did in the first couple of weeks, but the fact that anyone in Elizabeth City would care enough to march every single day in this kind of fashion is, I think, incredible. And so, again, the case of Andrew Brown Jr., I don't have any hopes that we're going to get a positive resolution anytime soon. I don't have many hopes that the governmental apparatus of Pasquotank County and Elizabeth City are going to change for the better. I don't. But what I do have hope for is that, you know, the people that march every day are more informed. They have built an ethic that they can use in other situations, like God forbid another police shooting happens, right? You know, political experience, protesting experience. I mean, as well as, you know, we have kids that march with us every weekday for the most part. I mean, I'm sure this is going to affect their future as well. And to me, that's the win, is the community being more together in any capacity is a win. People being better organizers, people being more resilient when it comes to doing things every day, people building habits around activities that are political, such as protesting and other forms of organizing. Those are the wins. And I know that over the last, you know, month or two, I maybe have been focusing too much on the specific governmental apparatus of this area and how bad it is. And I think we cannot underscore just how horrible the mayor of Elizabeth City is. She's a disgusting human being, right? The police at the ECP police station, right, as separate from the Pasquotank police, they're all trash. They're all garbage. And I think that everyone knows that, right? Like when these protests started, I do remember a lot of people in the crowds, a lot of people. Some people that still march out with us every once in a while as well were pro-police. They would say, oh, it's just a few bad apples. Oh, it's just the sheriff's department. I'm seeing a lot less of that. You know, people are learning that the people around them that are in government are horrible. And that is usually the first step to any sort of reform. The people in the city council are trash. The people in Pasquotank County Board of Commissioners are trash. The police are trash. The sheriffs are trash. The district attorney is trash. The local representatives are trash, right? The state representatives are trash. The national representative is trash. Every single politician that represents this area is garbage. There are 0 people that are worth anything whatsoever at all. Because if they were worth anything, we would have seen their value over the last 7 months. But wait, I forgot. They wrote Black Lives Matter on the street. I forgot. Yeah, that's right. They actually think that that's a win. Something that they could have done at any time. Something that they should have done probably last year. But Andrew Brown Jr. gets murdered. We write Black Lives Matter on the street. Are we even? Come on. That's the best they got. If the best you have is wasting $750,000 to funnel and launder to police departments so they can beat the shit out of the people that live in your city, and then at the end of that you write Black Lives Matter on the street, that's the best you can do? I don't think so. But again, we need to focus on the wins as well. And the wins are that there's more people that are more politically aware, that are seeing the world now for what it really is, and that's horrible, that know that their leaders are horrible, that know how to protest and organize more. And again, I hope to God that someone else doesn't have to get killed before people start to kick into high gear. Personally, I think we should be in high gear all the time. That's my opinion. But sometimes people need breaks. I understand that. But I hope that, you know, people take these experiences and they bring them forward and they don't let them, cause fear. Because there are a lot of people that are afraid of protesting because of the police force that we saw in Elizabeth City. That is the wrong lesson to learn. They want you to be afraid. That's the whole point of dressing up as a riot cop and having tear gas grenade launchers and school buses and fucking LRADs and like all that. It's to make you afraid. But what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of them? Thugs in riot costumes? Or are you afraid of doing what's right? Are you afraid of doing the right thing? If the answer is you're afraid of the riot thugs, but you want to do the right thing, you believe in the right thing, sometimes it's worth getting a little dirty. Sometimes. And obviously, you got to make all your decisions with all the context, but I'm just saying, they're going to try to do everything that they can to keep you in submission. The state does not want people to organize every single day. The state wants people to hate each other, to keep themselves divided, right? To worry and squabble, kill each other. Look at the crime rates in Elizabeth City. The government, the city council, loves the crime. The police love the crime. That's why they don't ever solve any of the homicides in Elizabeth City. Why bother? They love the idea that people in Elizabeth City are too busy killing each other and bickering and arguing to do anything. That's great to them. That's a win. Because it means less work for them. It means they don't need to worry as much and they can keep collecting their paychecks. People need to organize as a community and go against the government. That's the only way for anything to ever happen. We need to get rid of all of these garbage can motherfuckers like the mayor, the city council, the county commissioners. Get rid of them all and install new people that actually give a fuck. But then also people that actually are spending that time educating themselves on how government works so that they can get into office, grease the wheels for justice, and do everything that they can. Because a lot of people who are maybe well-meaning become elected, they don't know anything about how government works, and then they get, drowned in the process. Then the process consumes them. And they think, oh, I can't do anything because the process. That's another trap. That's another quicksand trap for justice. Is people love to think, all right, we're going to elect someone, they're going to go in there and change everything. But wait, what are all these rules? So I'm just saying, we got to focus on the wins, and we got to stop focusing on the losses. But we can't also pretend that there aren't any losses, because there are. There are absolutely giant L's. They have to be analyzed and they have to be understood so that they don't happen again in the future. Anyway, that's day 194, folks. Every time I do one of these, I make it like a soliloquy. I don't know. Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings from Amsterdam. That's cool. "18th of June, 2022, DC March. I'm not aware. Feel free to let me know. All right. So I have not seen this video yet, but it looks really cringe. Like, I just like looking. I'm going to show, like, brace for impact. Right? Like, I know you're probably in another tab right now looking at something, Close that tab or just, like, tab over. I want you to look at this person's face. Right? And then I want you to read the caption. Now, I have not seen this video yet, but I saw that this video was going viral the other day, and a lot of people were talking about it, and I thought, what better way to react than do it live on stream? So this is a nurse getting fired because of the you-know-what.
Let's go.
Thank you.
I am being escorted out of Kaiser Permanente Hospital for my religious beliefs because I don't want to get the jab. And
your religious beliefs. So you're a nurse. You work with medicine all the time, but your religion is like, nah, thou shalt not get the COVID vaccination. Every other medicine is fine. This is why religion is stupid. There should be no such thing as religious exemptions for anything. Religion is a scam. Anytime anyone invokes the religion card, they're scamming you. There is no religious exemption for the fucking vaccine. Just as there's no religious exemption for washing your fucking hands or taking a goddamn shower. But anyway, let's keep going.
And I asked all day for someone to explain to me why my sincerely held religious beliefs are not good enough for Kaiser. And no one was able to do that for me.
I'll explain why your sincerely held religious beliefs are not good enough. Because you're a fucking idiot. You're stupid. You're putting people in harm's way. It's like if I were an auto mechanic and I didn't know how to repair cars. Right? So people would bring their cars in. Oh, the flubberator's a little rippity-roo. Right? And then I slam it with a wrench and say, you're good to go. And they drive it off the lot. And then their fucking tires fall off in the middle of a highway. And then they cause like a 17-car pileup. Right? That's basically what you're doing. You don't understand your position at all. It would be like if I'm a vegetarian and I work at like fucking Arby's. Right? And I'm like, I don't cook meat. I refuse, me personally, I'm saying this. I personally refuse to ever touch meat. Right? And so it would be like if I got a job at Arby's. And then, I just, didn't make any food. And then everyone was, ordering, meat. And then I was just like, nah. That's my sincerely held belief. But guess what? I'm not going to go work at Arby's. Because I believe that, I'm not going to work at Arby's. So if I don't believe in medicine, why would I be a nurse? What?
Bye. So now they're escorting me out because I wanted an answer, and I'm not leaving without an answer. And I have some nurses here who are standing.
So she wants an answer. She's not leaving without an answer. Yet she's getting escorted out. It sounds like you're leaving without an answer. That's what it sounds like. It really does sound to me like you're leaving without an answer.
With me in solidarity, and I appreciate that. And I just want all of you to count the cost. I want you to watch this and think what really matters to me, because I am willing to lose my safety and security, my house, everything for my freedom. And I want you to think about that.
That was so good. That was okay. Okay, folks. The cinematography here is fantastic. I don't know if you heard the elevator, right? So she says her stupid fucking bullshit, and then she does that dumb smile, and then the elevator's going down. All right, listen to this.
And I want you to think about that.
It's incredible. That's incredible.
Going down.
So anyway, she's going down, folks. Again, this is simple. It's simple. It's simple. If you don't believe in medicine, you have no right to become a nurse. If you don't believe in eating meat, you have no right to work at Arby's. It's not that fucking hard. Your religious exemptions don't matter. Fuck your religion. Fuck your stupidity. Fuck your bullshit. Go online and become a crypto trader or something. Go do something else. Because medicine, working in medicine as a holistic faith healer doesn't work. Imagine you go to you're in a car crash and you wake up in the ER and you're like, ugh. And then you see this bitch with a fucking Jesus cross going and you're like, oh my God, where the fuck? I wouldn't want this fucking loser anywhere near me. If I fell down the stairs and broke my leg and snapped my spine and then woke up in the hospital, and then she's like, oh, Jesus, goddamn. I don't want... What? No, I want someone who knows what the fuck they're doing. My God. total and utter cringe? There are people that I know as well that aren't getting vaccinated, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Personally, people that I know that aren't vaccinated, I just fuck them. At this point, like in May, right? Like, okay, so I got vaccinated on day 1. On April, well, actually day 2, because it was first eligibility was April 19th, and so I signed up for April 20th because I signed up I didn't want to sign up and then they were out of appointments for the same day. So I technically got a day 2, but the first day I was able to. So I got my fucking shot literally on the very immediately as possible, as soon as I possibly could. Right? So it's one thing if it's May or it's June and it's I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I set up the appointment and that's a week from now. That's one thing. Or July, right? But every single month that goes by, every single fucking month that goes by, and you're still not vaccinated, and now people, because they're so lazy and stupid, don't get vaccinated, they now start drifting toward the anti-vaxxer thing. Because people like me, that actually fucking care about the rest of you dumb motherfuckers. Why do you think I got vaccinated? I don't leave the house. I never leave my house. I could be just fine not having the vaccine, sitting in my fucking basement or whatever the fuck you think I am. I would be fucking fine for me. But I got the vaccine for your dumb ass. Because I wanted to end this fucking pandemic. So these dumb fuck motherfuckers they are so stupid and selfish and dumb and just dumb. I'm afraid of needles. You know that, right? I've talked to you. I have a story once where I got, blood drawn and I passed the fuck out at the doctor's office because I'm not afraid of needles. I had a panic attack and I passed the fuck out. I hate needles. I have to close my eyes and I'm afraid. Yet, I got a double shot vaccine. ER, if you're gonna come into my chat and post cringe, god damn it, give me a fucking warning first. At least say hello. At least say, hi, I'm new to your channel. How are you doing today? You don't pop into the fucking stream with, do you think the unvaxxed should be executed? No, you fucking stupid idiot. The only exemption when it comes to the COVID-19 vaccine is if you are immunocompromised or disabled in some fashion where the vaccine would actually cause significant harm to you, which that can happen to a small, very small segment of the population. Very small. And if you're watching this stream, there is a 99.9999999% chance you do not fall into that category, right? And guess what? 99.9999999% of people that are unvaxxed do not fall into that category. So this is what's happening, right? People like me that got vaccinated on day 1 because we are responsible members of fucking society wanted the pandemic to be over by now. Well, I do hope the Pope gets COVID because that sounds hilarious. So, yes, there was frustration, right? From people that are vaccinated because we thought everyone was going to get vaccinated and we could start going to bars and concerts again in October. I thought I would be getting drunk at a party somewhere, listening to music on fucking Halloween. No, I was playing video games in my bedroom. Now, let's be honest, I would have done that anyway, but at least I wanted the option. Having the option would have been nice. Being possibly able to do that would have been a very nice thing. But again, so yes, there's an anger from vaccinated people to unvaccinated people. I feel that anger. I embody that anger. But now the unvaccinated and the anti-vaxxers are falling for conspiracy theories. Maxie! Max! He's woofing at the male person. So, now people that are unvaccinated are falling for anti-vaxxer conspiracy theories. Like, look at this ER dumb fuck. Jen Psaki was double vaxxed and still got COVID. Why did she get COVID? Ask yourself this question. Yes, vaccinated people can get COVID. We knew that from the start. The vaccine never was marketed to 100% protect you from ever getting coronavirus. It was marketed as a way to prevent hospitalizations and the spread of the virus. But wait! Oh, vaccinated people can still spread the virus. Why? Because the virus mutated several times and got better at being spread through vaccinated people. If everyone were vaccinated, the virus would not have had that opportunity to mutate, or if it did, it would not take hold and spread like wildfire. It is basic science. The same dumb motherfuckers all throughout 2020, herd immunity, we gotta get herd immunity, are now in the way of herd immunity. They don't want herd immunity anymore. The way you get herd immunity is from vaccines. If everyone got fucking vaccinated, the virus would not have enough time to mutate, enough people to mutate in, and enough ability to spread and take hold in a mutation. That would not happen if everyone were vaccinated. ER, you are too dumb to participate in this fucking stream. So I'm going to ban you. Now you can listen. I'll let you listen. But you are too dumb to participate in the stream. I'm sorry. Vaccinated people do not have double the viral load, you stupid fuck. And again, you know what else? Vaccinated, let's assume, alright, vaccinated people got COVID. Alright. Well, guess what? They're not going to the fucking hospital as much. What is it, like a 9-to-1 or some shit on the ratio of hospitalizations? What's the question, Mila? Oh, it's too late, I'm sorry. So guess what? Let's assume the virus was just as bad right now and everyone got vaccinated. You know what would happen? If I fell down the stairs and broke my spine, I would be able to go to a doctor. I would be able to go to the ER and they would have an ICU bed for me. That's not the case right now. Why? Because there's dumb motherfuckers taking up all the hospital beds. Why are we taking an unvaxxer seriously? Well, they're a serious population. They're literally dictating how American society is going. They are literally in the driver's seat right now, Jay Creates. They are in the driver's seat, and we are really rapidly approaching the cliff, and they're pushing the pedal to the metal. If you don't understand basic vaccination, basic science, when it comes to stopping the spread of these kinds of contagions, then you are stupid. You are a dumb person. And if you are a dumb person, the least you can do is not participate in society with the rest of the people. I'm so sick of dumb motherfuckers, man. So sick of it. They're all just so dumb. They're just so stupid. You need a paper towel. Okay. Alright, folks, that's the goddamn. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to be continuing. We finally, and by we I mean me, because no one else is playing the game. I am. But finally, I got to the inverted castle in Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So I'm going to be playing more of this tonight. And I'll be starting Silent Hill 2 after that. I think my ears popped. I'll cover the Biden bus story tomorrow. Too sidetracked. When do you get to the perverted castle? That's in the HD remake. Harvest them for plasma, Catherine. Oh my god. Please, at the very least, say in Minecraft when you do that. Harvest them for plasma. God damn it. Anyway, folks, again, thank you for watching. So, that's it. That's all I got. I'm out of words.
You haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but you're now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. But you haven't.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes. Those votes were put there a number of hours before. Really, how many people do that? You mean they moved out and then they said, "Ah, the hell with it, I'll move back in"? You know, it doesn't sound like a very normal. You mean they moved out and what? They missed it so much that they wanted to move back in? It's crazy.
Well, and then.
In case you don't know, and you haven't seen the latest polls, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. They think that maybe, given all of the crises facing this country, it's about time that there was some bold leadership here and that this institution made some hard choices.
Come on, don't be a bitch. My other debate flaked out on me today. I was supposed to, what? Actually, sorry, she did not flake out on me. I flaked out on her because I said I can't do it later.